Okay, well, once again, welcome everybody to your Cercle de Langue conference lesson for today. Now, my name is Alastair. I am your teacher for this conference lesson. And if we have a look at the screen now, we can have a look at the title. So, our presentation today, handling awkward situations. What to say when you're uncomfortable. Learn phrases to ease tense moments. Very interesting. Okay, so handling awkward or difficult situations. Okay, well, let's get started. Here is the lesson agenda for today. Number 1, recognizing awkward or difficult situations. Number 2, polite phrases to use when uncomfortable. Number 3, changing the subject gracefully. And number 4, tips to stay calm and confident. So, our lesson introduction. What can you say when things get weird? What can you say when things get weird? In this session, we'll explore simple, polite ways to stay cool, set boundaries, and gently steer the conversation when it gets a little uncomfortable. Okay, so let's start. Number 1, recognizing awkward or difficult situations. What is an awkward moment? What is an awkward moment? It's that uh-oh feeling. You feel unsure, maybe a little nervous. You don't know what to say or do, and things just feel off. Okay. Kind of like when you wave at someone who isn't waving at you. Okay, so we've likened that feeling to this experience. So if you wave at someone, hi, and it's not you they're waving at, it can leave you feeling, uh-oh. And that's what we are thinking about today, that uh-oh feeling. So here are some common awkward moments. Have you been in any of these situations? Have you been in any of these situations? Let's have a look. Number 1, someone asks you something way too personal. Someone asks you something way too personal. Number 2, the conversation suddenly goes silent. The conversation suddenly goes silent. Number 3, someone stands a little too close. Someone stands a little too close. Number 4, you didn't catch what they said twice. Do you ask again? You didn't catch what they said twice. Do you ask again? Well, let's think about reactions. So how does your body react to this feeling, this uh-oh feeling? Okay, there are possible responses and reactions, and we have 4 examples here. Number 1, your body often talks before you do. Okay, so body language can show our reaction. Your body often talks before you do. You might blush or smile nervously. Okay, more body language. Number 3, you avoid eye contact. Okay, more body language. And the final one, 4, you fidget, play with your hair, or cross your arms. This is more body language. So your body reacts in a physical way, and that's your brain saying, help, this is awkward. So quite often in these awkward situations, our body reacts before we speak. Now, it's okay to feel awkward. So, newsflash, everybody feels awkward sometimes. Okay, everybody feels awkward sometimes. It does not mean something's wrong with you. It just means you're human. The good news. Okay, well, there is some good news. There are words and phrases that can help you move through it with grace. So there are words and phrases in English that can help you move through those awkward moments with grace. So our next part, polite phrases to use when uncomfortable. Okay, so we've got some polite phrases that you can use when you feel uncomfortable in an awkward situation. So why use polite phrases? Well, polite language is your superpower. Polite language is your superpower. It helps you set limits without hurting anyone's feelings. You can stay kind. You can stay clear. You can stay calm all at once. You can stay kind, clear, and calm all at once. So let's have a look at some polite phrases. I'm not sure how to answer that. Okay, when someone asks you something too personal, I'm not sure how to answer that. This phrase lets you step away without sounding rude. You're keeping the boundary with a smile. I'm not sure how to answer that. Okay, let's have a look at another polite phrase when you feel uncomfortable. That's a bit too personal for me. Sometimes people don't realise they're crossing a line. This gentle phrase helps them see that kindly, in a nice way. It says, let's keep this respectful. Let's have a listen to that polite phrase once more. That's a bit too personal for me. Okay, let's think about another. Let's move on to something else. So, do you feel the vibe turning weird? Change the direction smoothly. Add a light tone or even a joke and glide away. So we've got a polite phrase to help in this situation. It's a suggestion. Let's move on to something else. Okay, here's another very useful phrase. When we feel uncomfortable, I would rather not talk about that. Okay, now this is short, calm, and clear. I would rather not talk about that. This says that you're in charge of what you want to discuss. There's no need to over-explain. This is enough. I would rather not talk about that. Okay. Now we can use body language too. This will supplement our words and support our words as well. So your tone, your face, and your posture speak volumes themselves. For example, a warm smile, a calm, steady voice, and gentle gestures. All these help your message land with kindness and, of course, a major objective in these awkward moments is to stay polite and to be considerate of people's feelings. So use body language too. Let's move on to the next part then. So we're thinking about now changing the subject gracefully. Why change the subject? Okay, well, not every topic is worth diving into. Sometimes it's too heavy, too weird, or just plain boring. So changing the subject is a social skill, and yes, it can be done with flair. So changing the subject, it's a social skill. Okay, well, let's have a look at ways that we can change the subject. So some useful expressions. Speaking of, okay, speaking of music, have you heard the new album from... Okay, now this phrase links topics like puzzle pieces. It feels natural, like continuing the conversation, not escaping it. Speaking of music, have you heard the new album from Beyonce? This phrase links topics like puzzle pieces. It feels natural, like continuing the conversation, not escaping it. Okay, we've got another one here. That reminds me. That reminds me of a funny story. Okay, now this is a great expression, and we can use this to gently shift the focus of that uncomfortable moment. It helps when you want to turn the mood around or lighten things up. That reminds me of a funny story. Now, of course, if we say that, we then need to tell a funny story. So make sure you've got a funny story ready to tell. That reminds me of a funny story. Okay, well, this is another great one. By the way. Okay, so by the way is your casual conversation tool. It helps with casual conversation and small talk. By the way, did you see the game last night? So this is easy to use and soft. It's like a little side door in the conversation. So this can help to change a conversation by bringing up a new one. By the way, did you see the game last night? It's easy to use and soft. Let's have a look at another expression here. Can I ask you something else? Aha, so when the topic gets too serious or emotional, this is a clear way to ask a polite question, and it helps steer the talk elsewhere without creating any tension. Can I ask you something else? So this is a question that helps to steer the conversation elsewhere without creating any tension. So we've got some other options here. Let's think about how we could complete these. So, by the way, how's your yoga class going? By the way, how's your yoga class going? By the way, how's your pet turtle? By the way, how's your son doing at university? Or, by the way, how's your job going? Okay, so there are different ways we can introduce other topics of conversation to avoid the awkward one. Okay, the next one on our list. That reminds me, I saw something the other day that reminded me of you. Okay, that reminds me. I saw something the other day. And of course, another one, speaking of changes, did you notice the new painting in the cafeteria? Speaking of changes, did you notice the new painting in the cafeteria? Okay, so these are all ways that we can steer the conversation in a different direction. Okay, now an emphasis of the lesson today is to try and use smooth, calm language that is polite and soft. So be smooth like jazz, no sharp turns or breaks. Change topics like a slow dance or a sax solo, a smooth, steady and stylish change. Okay, so this may seem a little bit dramatic, but it's interesting to think about smooth language to help ease those awkward moments. So be smooth like jazz. Change topics like a slow dance or a sax solo. Smooth, steady and stylish. Think flow, not force. Think flow, not force. Okay, well, let's move on to our section related to tips for you. So tips to stay calm and tips to stay confident. Tip number 1, breathe slowly. Okay, so your breath is your anchor. It holds you in place. It creates rhythm. Your breath is your anchor. When you feel tension rising, inhale slowly, exhale gently. Now, this can really help with the language and how we speak. This helps your brain stay cool and your words come out calmly. So, breathing slowly is a genuine aid in an awkward situation. Number 2, smile naturally. Yes, there's no need to grin like a cartoon. No. A soft, relaxed smile says, I'm okay, you're okay, we're okay. And it can change the entire energy in the room. So smile naturally. Tip number 3, use I statements. Okay, so this is a great tactic or strategy. Instead of saying you're making me uncomfortable, which is very direct, try I feel a bit uncomfortable and shift that to yourself, and this will ease any responsibility. So use I statements. Instead of you're making me uncomfortable, try I feel a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so this shifts the focus to your experience. It sounds kind and honest. Tip number 4, don't panic. Absolutely. So tip number 4, don't panic. Awkward moments are like waves. They rise and then pass. They rise and then pass. You can always say, let's talk about something more fun. Okay, now that phrase is gold. Okay, it's a great expression in an awkward moment. But our tip, of course, is don't panic. Okay, so we've got a bit of final advice for you. So think about our recipe for success in this situation. Be honest, stay calm, and be yourself. You don't need perfect words, just the right intention. So even the weirdest moment can turn into a kind moment with the right words. So we're coming towards the end of the presentation for today. So let's read through our conclusion. So in conclusion, awkward moments are normal. We all face them. But now you have some simple tools to handle them with calm and confidence. Use polite phrases. Change the topic gently. And remember, being kind doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Stay true to yourself and you'll handle any situation with grace. Okay, well, there we go, guys. We've come to the end of our conference today on handling awkward situations comfortably, stylishly, and with grace. So it just remains for me to say thank you ever so much for your attendance today on behalf of myself and everyone else here in the Circle de Long team. I will be back here next Monday. I sincerely hope you're here to join me. In the meantime, have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.